Out of your vulnerabilities will come your strength. Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. We are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love. From error to error, one discovers the entire truth. Just as no one can be forced into belief, so no one can be forced into unbelief. The voice of the intellect is a soft one, but it does not rest until it has gained a hearing. Ultimately, after endless rebuffs, it succeeds. This is one of the few points in which one may be optimistic about the future of mankind. The only person with whom you have to compare yourself is you in the past. The interpretation of dreams is the royal road to a knowledge of the unconscious activities of the mind. Friendship is an art of keeping distance, while love is an art of intimacy. People do not really want freedom, because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility. We are what we are, because we have been what we have been, and what is needed for solving the problems of human life and motives is not moral estimates, but more knowledge. A woman should soften, but not weaken a manual. Whoever loves becomes humble. Those who love have, so to speak, pawned off part of their narcissism. The madman is a dreamer awake. Words have a magical power. They can bring either the greatest happiness or deepest despair. When all of relationship is at its height, there is no room left for any interest in the environment. A pair of lovers are sufficient to themselves. One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. In the small matters, trust the mind. In the large ones, the heart. Religion is an illusion, and it derives its strength from the fact that it falls in with our instinctual desires. Just as a cautious businessman avoids investing all his capital in one concern, so wisdom would probably admonish us also not to anticipate all our happiness from one quarter alone. Love and work and love. That's all there is. He that has eyes to see and ears to hear may convince himself that no mortal can keep a secret. If his lips are silent, he chatters with his fingertips. Betrayal oozes out of him at every pore. Civilization began the first time an angry person cast a word instead of a rock. The doctor should be opaque to his patients, and like a mirror, should show them nothing but what is shown to him. The interpretation of dreams is the royal road to a knowledge of the unconscious activities of the mind. Men are more moral than they think, and far more immoral than they can imagine. Everywhere I go, I find that a poet has been there before me. We are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love. What progress we are making. In the Middle Ages, they would have burned me. Now they are content with burning my books. What we call happiness in the strictest sense comes from the preferably sudden satisfaction of needs, which have been dammed up to a high degree. I cannot think of any need in childhood as strong as the need for a father's protection. Love is the fire that warms, even the coldest nights of the soul. The mind is like an iceberg. It floats with 1/7 of its bulk above water. The ego is not master in its own house. The goal towards which the pleasure principle impels us of becoming happy is not attainable, yet we may not, nay, cannot, give up the efforts to come nearer to realization of it by some means or other. A civilization which leaves so large a number of its participants unsatisfied and drives them into revolt neither has nor deserves the prospect of a lasting existence. Every normal person, in fact, is only normal on the average. His ego approximates to that of the psychotic in some part or other, and to a greater or lesser extent. Men are strong so long as they represent a strong idea. They become powerless when they oppose it. The tendency to aggression is an innate, independent, instinctual disposition and manual. It constitutes the powerful obstacle to culture.